Okay, there we go. Okay. Hello, Vida.
Hello, Margaret.
So we're here to do another MAAT session. Today is October 13th, 2021. And we've got quite a big mishmash of stuff we're going to kind of talk about today. Lots of history going on in the world, especially right now in Canada with March History Month. There's a lot happening to raise awareness and educate people. Look, I'm getting sidetracked already and I haven't even got to the intros. Okay. Okay, so I am Margaret Major and I am the registered counseling therapist here at the After Trauma Empowerment Network in Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia. I am joined with Vida Woodworth, and she is co-host and chairperson on our board
And
of
co-chair.
directors.
I'd
Woo!
love to be a co-chair.
Let's hope the whole show is not going to go like that. me mashing my
demotion.
words together. This could be a pretty funky episode. Yes,
It could be.
And Kate Matthews is also here. She's over that way, kind of in the background off the camera, because we haven't yet convinced her to come on the camera. We're still working on it, but she's doing our technical directing behind the scenes. And we're also joined with this guy. And I'll introduce him in a few minutes. Yes, my little buddy. A little buddy. Okay. So first, as we always do, I'm going to do our diversity welcome, and then we'll get into a list of a lot of different areas that we're going to talk about. Okay, so I would like to welcome everyone. Oh my, I'm off to a rough start. Maybe I just need to take a breath.
Deep
Okay.
breath.
I'd like to welcome all women, men, transgender, and other identified individuals here today. Did I say something wrong?
No, you didn't. I'm sorry. A delayed response. Now I've lost my earphone. Oh well, keep going. A disrespectful beginning. Oh, now it's on. Here I am. Okay.
Oh, Vida.
Okay.
Oh, it's all good. It's all
There.
good. All good. Are you all situated?
I am all situated and I am calm again.
Okay. Okay. I'll start from the beginning and
Okay, yeah.
we'll see how I do. Yes. I've done this so many times. You would think I would just know this off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
I still need to look at my script every night just to remind myself, because we want to make sure that everybody feels represented in our welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's why it's so detailed. Okay. So I would like to welcome all women, men, transgender, and other identified individuals here today. I'd like to welcome everyone here who is a mother, father, sister, brother, auntie, uncle, son, daughter, grandmother, or grandfather. Welcome. I welcome people of all races, tribes, and descent. I welcome your bodies, your minds, and your energy. I welcome survivors and those who support them. I welcome all people single, married, partnered, celibate, dating, or involved in whatever sort of relationship is right for you. I welcome gay, lesbian, bisexual, heterosexual, queer, two-spirited, and others for whom none of the current labels fit. I welcome your emotion, your joy, your sadness, your hope, disappointment, frustration, rage, and contentment. I welcome everyone's special way of understanding and knowing the world. everyone's wisdom, whether it is education that has been learned in schools, colleges, and universities, and or the deep and profound school of life. I welcome those living with chronic medical conditions, invisible and visible. I welcome mystics, seekers, and believers of all kinds. I welcome people who identify as activists, community leaders, musicians, artists, group members, and those who don't. And finally, I'd like to welcome the ancestors who lived in this land where we are now. Welcome the spirits of Mi'kmaq, the natives who lived in this area before the Europeans came. I'd like to acknowledge them and invite their spirits to this place. Everyone, welcome.
There.
Welcome, and thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to us to have people join in and be a part of this with me. Okay, so just a quick check-in, Vida, because there's a question at the end of my diversity welcome. Is there anybody that you feel we're leaving out of that welcome?
I don't know, although I know, especially in areas of gender identity and so on, I know that there are people and groups of people who are coming up with identities or names for a specific person or groups of people that,
Yeah.
you know, and it's I know we couldn't say every possible one, but I don't know if we should maybe review it, and if anybody listening knows that we're leaving out someone, absolutely let us know.
Yeah, put it in the comments or send us an email. Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. So,
okay. Yeah. I just it's a question down there at the bottom of my sheet that I've never asked before. So I thought, hey, let's ask the question. Questions are good.
I have another question.
Oh, okay.
It just popped into my head, and we may need Kate to do some research.
Okay.
Did William Shatner make it into weightlessness today?
Oh.
He was going to be on, I don't know whose rocket today. It was delayed from yesterday.
Okay.
And they were going to be blasting off today, and they should be there and back by now, I would think. Okay, the oldest person after the woman who trained to be an astronaut in the 60s and was told she couldn't go because women weren't astronauts. They took her on one of the, I don't know if it was the Virgin Airlines one or the other one, Jeff Bezos, but yeah, she got to go, and she was the oldest at that point. She was 83, and I think William Shatner is 90. Yeah. So, well, yeah, good for him.
Yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah, Chris Hadfield gave him some advice, and basically he said, because it's not very long for them to be at the peak of their trip and to be weightless, and he said, don't waste your time trying to take pictures or you know, do things. He said, just enjoy it and experience it. He said, because you know, it is that incredible. He said he was up there for, I think, 9 months, and he said there were still things that he wished he had spent more time you know, experiencing. So he had said, you know, there's other ways to record your trip and just be there and be in the moment. So I hope he was.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, in the moment living is the best way to live.
Yeah.
It can be quite a challenge at times, but that's what I strive for.
Yeah. So that was my question. It just popped in my head. So
good question. But I didn't even know that was a news story item, because I don't I learned so much from you and Kate. I mean, even before our session today, like the thing about, the color for boys used to be pink and the color for
Yeah.
girls used to be blue. Thank you,
Yeah.
Kate. I didn't know that they changed that in the 40s. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
every time I'm around you, Vida, I always learn so much. Yeah.
Either that or I make up a lot of things and you believe them. No, I don't.
Well, could be that too, I guess.
It could be,
Yeah.
yeah, no, but I don't. So,
Okay, so looking at let's do a check-in with you, Vida. How are you doing? How's your week been?
it's been good. It was all good. Yesterday was a fun day. It didn't go the way we thought it was going to go, but it was fun. And
Yeah.
I'll let you talk about it more than me. Yeah, and I just will say that I did eat all of the candy I got at the Freaks lunchbox.
Oh, did you? Oh.
Yes, well, Mom and I ate it, but I would say I probably ate the majority of it, and thankfully I didn't get a big bag. But yeah,
Oh,
so
I got some yummy.
no, yeah, my week was it was good and nice. And Thanksgiving on Monday, Mom and I had one of her friends, well, my friend as well, out, and we had dinner and had a nice visit and just spent the day quietly. So yeah, can't think of anything out of the ordinary that are interesting to share. So I'll hand it over to you.
Okay. Well, before I say what the big, I guess, what's two exciting things for me.
Mhm.
So I went to a store today, Vida. I showed you a picture
Yes, you did.
of what I got at that store, and it starts with an F. And it's a place
Yes.
where when I go, I could spend hours there, just touching and looking. So I went to a fabric store, and this is so I started a Cape Breton quilt about
Mhm.
3 weeks ago, and I've been trying to find the inspiration and the image, the vision in my mind to create this quilt, and I just keep coming up blank. I can't seem to get an inspired idea of how to do this quilt. So Sunday night, I got a text from a volunteer who's also on our board of directors, and she suggested a fundraising idea. And as soon as I read it, I was just instantly inspired, and the ideas started popping into my brain like fireworks going off. So what I'm going to do now is make a quilt with squares. It's all squares. It's going to be like probably a queen size quilt by the time it's done, and it has three-inch squares on it, and they're all multiple shades of blue, light blue, medium blue, dark blue, and there's going to be random. So I don't have my picture, so I can't show it. But there's going to be random red or rainbow. We could do any color hearts on there. And maybe next week I'll do a picture.
Mhm.
But we're going to sell blocks, like squares, on the quilt. So you can buy a square and have your name or have in loving memory of somebody, rock and roll, peace and love, whatever you want to put on there, it'll be your square. And you, as part of the fundraiser, you donate to our organization. And we're still kind of working out the details because this only started flowing Sunday night at around 8:30. So I was happy to get up this morning and rush off to the fabric stores and just in my glory looking at all the beautiful fabrics.
Mm.
But I did get my materials, and I'm looking forward to probably tomorrow starting to cut some more. And we'll have to have some meetings and decide how this is all going to come together. in
Mhm.
regards to being a fundraiser. But so the title for the quilt, which my mom suggested, is the Community Heroes Quilt. So everybody who gets their name or buys a square is going to be a community hero. And then we're not quite sure at the end, when the quilt is finished, if we're going to possibly auction the quilt off or if we're going to sell tickets like we did with the Nova Scotia Strong quilt. All these details are still coming.
Mhm.
But I'm so excited to start that and to share the progress and the updates. Just can't wait to get started in this program.
Yeah.
So that brings me to the other exciting thing, which is tonight is the first game between Montreal and Toronto, which kind of ties to the other thing. Yes, so that's exciting that tonight after our show, you know, we get to go home and watch the puck drop and watch the first Montreal-Toronto game of the 2021-22 season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a shout out to the way that it seems, and I know we don't always hear everything in the media, but it seems that number one, Montreal is handling the time Carey Price has asked for to deal with, and I think he's very openly said mental health issue.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's you know, when you're that public and people are watching every moment, you know, it's difficult when you have life issues like everybody does. Sometimes, you know, it's your first response is to keep it private, and he chose to allow the team, and I know his wife has said some things, and his family and so on, and just to help, I guess, people who may be dealing with an issue themselves and realize that it even you know, not just a hockey player but the best goalie in the world, you know, is okay to talk about this and say that he needs some time out and to deal with his mental health.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to, and I know that there have been many athletes and many people, famous and not famous, who've told their stories and how much it means to others. But I just,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I am a Montreal fan, as you know, Margaret,
Yes, I do.
and I just hope that the team can pull together. And I know they're also missing another one of their better players. Weber is out as well.
Yeah.
And I just hope they can go out and enjoy the game. And Toronto has a good team this year, so I'm not going to deny that. I will say it now. I may change my mind later.
Well,
if we win, you'll hear about it next week.
I put the flag outside, our Toronto Maple Leafs flag, out in front of the house 2 days ago. So not sure if Daryl was okay with that.
Yeah.
There's a lot, you know, I can't wait to watch the game. Yes.
Yeah.
So quilting and hockey.
Yes.
Exciting. So that brings me to the face I showed you. So this is Marner. He's an emotional support bearer.
Mm-hmm. And he's styling.
Big time. He's got Every Child Matters. And
Yeah.
he's got his rainbow ribbon. And he's gonna join us from time to time, just to
Bring a different perspective.
yes, bring a different perspective. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of, just looks supportive, doesn't
He
he?
does. Yes.
I know, look at the
And
reflection off his glasses.
yeah, he can say so much with no words. He has a gift. You never
Yeah.
hear him speak, but he communicates volumes.
I love him.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's got, I didn't bring it in, it's out in the entranceway, but he's also got a Toronto Maple Leafs hoodie that he can wear. But he's on duty right now, so he's got to have his work shirt on. Yes.
Yes.
So this is Marner, and Marner will be joining us from time to time. And I
Okay.
did think that maybe Marner might sing a song or two. I don't know. We'll have to,
Yeah.
have to see if Marner finds his voice.
Yeah.
But he's a very
Well,
compassionate, very supportive, great listener. Yeah.
yes. And he's obviously a techie because he has that rockin' headset on there.
Oh, his glasses are cool.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Marner was a little lopsided there for a minute. Oh, look, he's looking over his glasses now at everybody.
Okay. All right, Marner. I'm gonna put you over here. We're gonna talk serious for a minute. Okay. And I'm gonna have to take him home with me. I'll have to get a Marner for the office and a Marner for my kitchen. Because he's
Yes.
he's just
Well.
so joyful to look at. He's just, I love Marner.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a couple of more things, Vida. Just a quick update on our kindfulness calendars.
Mhm.
I did speak with the printing company today, and they were overwhelmed and just, they're working on it. They're going to put a rush on it. So hopefully by the end of next week. I was hoping for the end of this week, but it looks like it might be the end of next week.
Mhm.
So we'll keep you posted on the kindfulness calendars, but we're excited about that too. And we have, so next week, as we mentioned last week, on the 20th, we have Classified joining us. That's going to be
Yay.
awesome. That's going to be
Very
awesome.
exciting.
I know. I'm trying to think. Pizza, pasta, what kind of questions?
I know. And you mentioned that he's a new, or maybe not a new, I know he writes songs and lyrics and music, but he's also just written a book.
Yes.
So probably you might be talking more about that next week.
I know. I don't.
Yeah.
I know it's going to fly by, and I'm going to have way too many questions, and we're going to run out of time because we could go a whole day.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that he'll have some inspiring words for people because he's an inspiration.
Yeah.
Especially from being from Enfield, and I'm from Enfield. We actually grew up almost side by side.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then is it the 29th? No, 27th. On the 27th,
Yes.
we have Leanna McLeod joining us.
Mm-hmm.
And Leanna is the creator of this pin that I showed, that I showed a couple of weeks ago. This is the faceless forever sacred creation pin. And we'll talk more with Leanna about that on the 27th. But we're so honored and excited to have both of those people.
And she's going to join us here in our office.
In the office.
Yeah, so we'll all be in the same space at the same time. And that'll be kind of cool to have our guest right in with us. So
yes. Yeah. I look forward to learning from her. I know I will.
Yes.
I know I will.
Yeah.
And just to hang on that for 1 second, we are looking for people who are interested in coming on the show and sharing their music. It doesn't matter if you play the violin, the fiddle, flute, the guitar, bass, drums, cajon,
Kazoo.
Yes.
Ukulele.
Yes. Banjo. Oh, there's so many.
Mandolin.
The pot. I've seen people play the pot.
Oh, I didn't hear the beginning of it. I only heard pot.
Oh, play the pot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know,
Yes.
there's lots of other things
Yeah.
you can do with
And the washboard.
yes,
Yeah. And the cowbell.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, we have a cowbell too.
Yeah.
Tambourine,
Mm-hmm.
shakers, and
Shakers.
rockers. Yeah.
Maracas. We could spend the whole night thinking of names for musical instruments,
Yeah.
but we won't.
Okay. Piano.
Yes.
That's one we missed with piano.
Harpsichord.
Ooh. I bet I couldn't spell that.
Ah, I probably could, but it tells you how old I am that I know what it is.
Yeah,
It's an older
I wouldn't have thought
instrument.
of it.
Yeah, not so commonly played, but I'm sure there are
Can
people
you
out
say a
there who,
song that has it in it?
oh, Margaret,
I'm
a
sorry.
harpsichord, something that would have been listened to in the courts of Henry VIII or,
Oh.
yeah,
Oh, I can hear it now. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I don't know what the top 10 were back then, but I bet they would have all included a harpsichord at some point. Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Mm.
Okay. Just one more look at my my list here. I think I got everything off of there. Okay. Okay. So just for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, Vida, I'm just going to talk about that conversation. Well, it was more of a forum of presenters today, but I learned
Yes,
a lot.
yes, Margaret. Yeah,
And
no, I'm
I
looking
just want to
forward
share
to.
a little bit from that.
Yep.
So for 2.5 hours this afternoon, I was privileged to be part of a presentation. I wasn't a presenter, but I was an audience member. So this was an event hosted by the Canadian Centre to End Human Trafficking. So this was about, they had their first full year of operation. So this report was a reflection of the data that they were able to gather over
Mhm.
that full year, because they haven't had a full year of operation yet to be able to gather that kind of data. So just a few of the numbers that were thrown out. So they had 450 cases. So that would be across Canada. So, you know, that's from coast to coast. They weren't necessarily broken down into province by province.
Mhm.
I know that Nova Scotia, it's been reported in news reports before that Nova Scotia has a high number of human trafficking cases
Mhm.
here. And it happens in our corridor here. I've
Mhm.
talked to clients who have been trafficked in this area, like our corridor where we
Mhm.
live. And sadly, a lot of people don't know that this is happening. A lot of people think this happens over there. This happens in that community. This happens in this community. Like people in this community. Now,
Yeah.
this isn't a large number of people who are participating in this, who are the traffickers and who are purchasing or exploiting, mainly youth. There is adults that are trafficked, certainly, yes.
Mhm.
Statistically, it is a lot of youth. And of the 450 cases that they dealt with last year, 71% of those cases were related to sex trafficking. And then followed by 7% labor. So majority of trafficking and exploitation happening here in Canada is sex trafficking.
Mhm.
And now I'm going to say something and I might get shit for it because I have in the past for saying this. So they reported that or said that this was gender-based violence because statistically, it shows that majority trafficking and exploitation is happening to females, people who identify as female. Now, in my work here at the After Trauma Empowerment Network, I currently have 6 clients who have experienced trafficking and exploitation. It's half and half. 3 identify as female, 3 identify as male. So since I've started this work in 2010, actually before that, when I was on the board of directors with you up at CSAC, I've felt a compulsion to be a voice for all genders affected by violence and abuse. I know statistically, like when it comes to sexualized violence, that majority of cases that are reported are by female. And those are the numbers that we have to work with. And I think part of the reason and why the Canadian Centre to End Human Trafficking might not have a lot of data on males is it's not safe for males to come forward. We have not set up an environment where it is safe and okay for males. It's okay for females to come forward and say, hey, this is happening to me. It's not so safe for male identified or men to come forward.
Yeah.
And part of my work, I feel, part of my responsibility is to be a voice when I can, to advocate for services, treatment programs for all genders, not just one specific gender.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I piss anyone off, well, I'd love to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
I've had many conversations, and this is something I'm very committed to and passionate about. And I'm certainly open to new information and new perspectives. But that's a little blurb on that. And
I think, Margaret, it's important. I mean, I worked in Truro at the center before you, before you came on my board, and then after I left, you were there. And actually from the very beginning, that center very clearly was there for anyone who needed support, whether they were, no matter how they identified their gender, their sexual orientation, their age, anything you could name, and anyone was welcome there. And I think that is an important thing to keep in mind, because one of the things that can happen for people when they are victims of traumatic experiences or sexual violence in particular is that isolation and I'm the only one, nobody will believe me, all that stuff. And that's the same whether it's a male identified person or a female identified person. And, you know, just by you talking about it, me talking about it, and other people talking about it, helps to lessen the isolation. And it also is important too that there are services for people to access as and when they decide they're ready. And you're right, sometimes we do become voices for people. And sometimes we do it because it's safer for us to do it than it is for them. But it's all the voices should be heard. And I think my experience just in the community like yours, there are way more male victims of sexualized violence than stats used to show, especially 25, 30 years ago. And I think our stats, you know, reflect that. You know, it used to be less than 10% of victims of sexualized violence were male. And now and our statistics consistently show that we are having people accessing services who identify as male, and that percentage of our clients over the years, whether it was in Truro or here, for me at least, used to run anywhere between 25 and sometimes 35%. And I know we still weren't hearing from everyone, from all the boys and the men. So we also know now with child abuse, we used to still say it was more girls than boys are sexually abused under the age of 16. We now know that those stats are actually pretty close to 50-50 in a lot of studies. So if we have children who were traumatized, sexually traumatized, grow into adults, and they're not talked about anywhere, where are they supposed to go for help and so on. So I don't, I know it is an argument, and but I do believe when our community only has one service of this kind, and I would hate that we would make its scope so narrow that only a few of our community members would be able to access its services, until we get 55,000 centers to deal with all the very specific kinds of things they could
Then
do.
we can
I
break
think,
it down. Yeah.
yeah, right now we need to try and find a way to at least welcome anyone who needs that information, support, or whatever it is they're looking for. Yeah. So I won't be one of the people that will disagree with you, that's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we might have a debate sometime. I think that would be
Yeah.
okay. You challenged me before, and it's healthy. It's healthy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So just a couple of quick things off of this. Sorry, I gotta move my glasses.
Oh,
So what was also identified was there's a disproportionate rate when it comes to trans and non-gender identified individuals considered in the population. It's kind of like Indigenous people in our criminal justice system. It's disproportionate to how many are in the actual full population. So that was another finding that so people trying to get out of trafficking, trying to exit, as they call it. Some barriers to that is housing, food, just basic shelter, and often trying to access social services. Some of these people don't have any ID. They've had, like, I remember a girl that I met who was being trafficked, and she had no ID. She had to go through and all the different channels to be able to reorder her social insurance number, her driver's license. She had to get all of her ID, and that's quite a process to prove that you're who you say you are.
and it's expensive.
Yes, and there's. And she wore glasses. They took her glasses from her, and she needed glasses. She couldn't see properly. Like, it's, and these are huge barriers to someone who's trying to exit. I mean, their safety. So there's so much work that needs to be done in regards to human trafficking and exploitation. And they talked about the prevention work that needs to happen with educating people about this, like the difference between someone being trafficked and consensual sex work. Like, a lot of people don't necessarily understand the difference between.
Yeah.
And I need to learn more. I certainly don't know everything about this, and thankfully the Canadian Centre will continue to be a resource, and they have a list of all the agencies across Canada that can provide support, and they're connecting people with what supports are available. Obviously, funding is a huge issue, funding the social services that are there to support and assist these individuals when they do try to exit. And let me see. I think that's all I have on my list right now.
Yeah,
Although I could go on and on.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I know
it's a
you
pretty,
had some stuff that you wanted to say too. So yeah.
well, and I just will add to just what you were talking about there for a second. In a conversation with a few young women in the last couple of weeks, they were talking about kind of what it's like to be a teenager these days. And they had a couple of incidents they talked about where they were hanging out in a place where they sort of normally hang out during the day, and not a school. So I don't want anybody to think it was at school. But they noticed that there were cars or vans or vehicles that were in those areas, parked in those areas that were not normally around. And kids are pretty observant about, what kind of things are in their environment on a regular basis. So when something different pops in, sometimes it does, they do notice it. And in two of the cases, that they felt very strongly that the person in both of the different vehicles were there with the purpose of watching the group of young people that was hanging out in this area. And so before I could even say anything, they said, we snapped some pictures, got a license plate, and sent it off to the police. And it's kids aren't always quick to report stuff.
No.
And but they both, in both cases felt really strongly that this was important, and they felt, this is something, it may or may not be a risk or a danger, but if it is, at least, when we noticed, we did something. And yeah, if that person just happened to be tired and was sitting there resting, then, if the police show up and ask them questions, then hopefully it'll get figured out. But yeah, you never know where somebody's watching you. And I don't mean to sound paranoid, but there are places where, we can be particularly vulnerable when we're out and about. And, just to be aware that, like you said, Nova Scotia has one of the highest rates when you look at per capita and so on for this kind of activity to be happening. So pay attention. If you notice something and your gut's telling you there's something wrong, tell somebody. And you never know, you could save a person's life. You could save someone from having the worst experience of their lifetime 1,000,000 times over. Or you might embarrass somebody a little bit, but at least, I'd rather err on that cautious side and look after my neighbors as much as I hope they would look after me if I look like I needed help. So
and just
anyway,
to add something to what you said about vulnerable. So yes, youth are very vulnerable, and the marginalized communities more vulnerable. And a lot of human trafficking, I don't know the stat on it, but a lot of it starts online.
yes, yeah, the luring and grooming,
online, and then the grooming, and
yeah,
I want to say the F word right now because it fits in with the grooming, because we'll definitely be talking more about this. And I mean, January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, so we'll definitely be talking about it then. But for today, we'll I'll wait on the F word and I'll use it when we talk about it again, because it sums up the grooming, the luring and the grooming process.
Yeah. So this, as we mentioned last week, we discovered that in addition to being Mi'kmaq History Month, this month is also LGBTQI2S+ History Month. And I discovered yesterday or last night that it is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And was proclaimed in 1989, I believe, in Canada. So as I said, I think last week, that there's only 12 months in the year. So there's so many very important causes and issues and so on, that it would be hard to have a month designated for one thing only. I guess those the three ones I've just listed are definitely are important in our neck of the woods here, where we live, and I'm sure anywhere in the world, if we were honest about it, making sure that we're aware of these issues and the importance of culture, whether it's Indigenous culture or other cultures in the part of the world where you are, is important. So I know last week I kind of startled you a little bit by saying I had some questions I was going to ask.
Trivia.
And I have some more
Okay.
trivia before. I don't know what time it is, Margaret. So
It is 6:47.
okay, so I don't have a
goes
ton
so
of.
quick.
I know. I have a few questions here, and as last week, you can use your
My shout out
emergency, your shout out to Kate.
to Kate. Okay.
And so my first question is, what show features the longest running LGBTQ character in TV history?
I have an idea, but I'm gonna confirm with Kate.
Okay.
Did you find anything?
Oh, Kate. Well, you watched this on TV.
I don't know. St. Grace and Frankie.
No.
Can we have a hint? Grace?
What is she? Can I hear what she's saying? It is.
It is?
Yes.
Oh. Callie?
Yeah.
Oh. Way to
How
go,
many
Kate.
seasons have they been on the air, Kate? Yeah. Yeah. So they're not the only show, obviously, but they've had a gay character consistently since they started. So yeah.
Oh, way to go, Grace.
I thought maybe Kate would just jump there because I know that's a show she's committed to.
Neither did I.
Yeah. From that,
There,
that umbrella from the queer community. So yeah.
I learned another thing from you, Vida.
And they didn't kill her off yet, which is a miracle because in a lot of movies where gay, well, especially lesbian characters are portrayed, Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct was bisexual, but she was also a serial killer, I think. And so I think she also died at the end. I don't know. I never saw that movie, but a lot of characters often have, these terrible endings. And so sometimes when they're portrayed in just kind of a normal way, because really that's the way it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so.
Okay.
No, I know. Yeah, I didn't think she was, but okay. So last week I talked about the pink triangle.
Yes.
And of its use during the Holocaust for, and I think I wasn't really clear because I couldn't remember. The pink triangle was used for gay, bisexual, or trans men. And they were actively taken and put in the camps. I mentioned the black triangle. The black triangle was representative of lesbian, bisexual, and trans women, and they weren't as actively, taken to the camps. But I think I talked about the experimentation and so on, and again, in women were not seen as equal to men. So, all those things related to gender were also in play there. So I'll just mention that. I have a couple of more questions that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
What year, oh, make sure I have it right here in front of me so I can, lost my page.
That's okay. Others.
Sorry. La 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 la. I'll just come up with another page here. Who, this is and not just in Canada, who was the first openly gay man to elected to public office in the United States? Oh, no. The first openly gay man elected.
Oh my. Yeah, Kate doesn't know the answer. No, I don't know the answer.
Okay, his
You have
name
to
was
have
Harvey
words about
Milk.
this? Oh, Vida.
Harvey Milk, did you know that name?
I haven't seen the movie. No,
Oh,
I did. No, sorry. I do know the name very much, but I didn't.
Okay.
I haven't
The
seen
movie, who, just a bonus question, do you recall who played
Sean Penn?
the role? Yes.
Sean Penn. Yay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
2 points for me.
This is a very modern LGBTQ question.
Okay.
Who was the first Black openly gay actor to win an Emmy Award?
Oh.
He also attended the Academy Awards in a very unique, I'll say, outfit when he walked the carpet, the red carpet at the Academy Awards.
Who? Year? Can we have a year?
I think it was 3 years ago. Yes, very recent. The show that he was in, that he won the Emmy for, was Posse or Pose, depending on where you're from.
Oh. I haven't.
His
seen that
name
either.
is Billy Porter.
Oh, I would not have known that, but
No? Well,
no, I'm
if
sorry.
you have a chance, Google Billy Porter and look at some of his fashion. It just
Okay.
blows my mind
I
that men
will.
didn't wear some of the things that he has made
I will
more
make a
popular.
note.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for teaching me all these things, and we need to write them down on
Okay.
a sticky so I don't forget.
I'll have one more question and then it'll be time for us to
Okay.
let's see if I can find okay, this just happened. When is National Coming Out Day in the United States?
October 11th.
Right.
Yay! Thank you, Kate.
Yay.
Thank you, Kate.
Yeah, and sometimes in Canada we do it on February 14th.
Ah, lovely.
And I think there's a few dates that people have tossed around, but yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Kate, did you? Yeah, you weren't a TV watcher. One more question.
Okay.
Demi Lovato played a love interest for which Glee character?
I don't know, and I don't.
Santana. I didn't really watch it, but I do remember that a little bit. So
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, we'll stop there.
I think I
and
only knew
maybe
one of those.
Yeah,
Oh, if I was on Jeopardy, that would be, I'd be pretty low on the
you'd be in the
rankings
hole.
there.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, there's so many. So many. I'm looking at another one now, but I want you to
Maybe-
get it right. Next week I can ask maybe one, and like each week just throw in
I
one
was just
and
gonna say,
not and do it quickly. Yeah.
I was just gonna say
So
that
I'll
maybe it could be a part of the show from now on.
Yeah.
There's like trivia minutes. We could have 5 or 10
Yeah.
minutes of just trivia stuff.
About any kind of topic, we can just throw them in. Something interesting I learned during the week, I could turn it into a trivia moment.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
could do song lyrics. We could
Yeah.
incorporate. We could blend those two ideas together, and that's how
Yes, we could.
we could do that.
Yeah.
And I may not always sing them. I might just state them.
Yes. And as I mentioned, we may sometimes act them out with a puppet or a bear,
Yes,
whatever. Yeah.
Marner.
So,
Marner.
yes,
He's been sitting there supporting me the whole time.
I bet.
All these answers
He's
I
very-
got wrong.
See, that's when Marner's silence doesn't always help.
No.
If he doesn't yell it out, how are you going to know that he knew the answer?
I know. He's got a heartbeat though.
Yeah,
That helps.
he does.
Yes. I'll have to get Kate to feel the heartbeat. Okay. Anything else, Vida, before we do our loving kindness meditation? And
No, other than I'm looking
away.
forward to hearing from our guests next week.
yeah, me too.
And I hope I don't get all like
Starstruck?
starstruck or fansy or whatever, and just sit here. Maybe that would be a good thing if I just sat and listened for, yeah. And then I'm also looking forward to having Leanna the following week.
Definitely.
And yeah, any other people who might like to offer
Join
to come
us,
on our
yeah.
show. Yeah. So, okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to do our loving kindness meditation, just so we can leave on that note. There's a few heavy things that we talked about. I put a B in there, and heavy doesn't have a B. But this is just so we can leave on a little bit of a kind note instead of a heavy. So for the next 2 minutes, just put all of your worries, all of your stresses up on the shelf. And you can pick them back down when you're finished with this meditation. Gently close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. And if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, just find something to put your stare. Just allow yourself to be in this space, hearing the sounds in the room around you. Just allowing your breathing to be natural. You may notice your breathing starts to slow down. And begin to notice any tension you might be holding in your body. Begin to feel that tension start to drain away from you, from around your eyes, your face, through your neck, your shoulders, and down your arms. Feel any tension drain like a liquid down through your body and out through your tongue. Now begin to feel your body fill up with love. Imagine a loving white light entering your feet, traveling up to your body, up to your stomach, your chest, your arms. Feel it almost bursting through your heart, your fingers, through the crown of your head. When you feel embraced in that love, silently repeat the following words to yourself. May I be free from all harm. May I be safe and protected. May I be free from all suffering. May I be happy. May I be free from all disease and physical pain. May I be healthy and strong. And may I be able to live in this world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. Now turn your thoughts to this vast world, this huge earth with all its living creatures. Continue to feel that love bursting through your body as you silently sing. May all beings be free from all harm. May they be safe and protected. May all beings be free from all suffering. May they be happy. And may all beings be free from all disease and physical pain. May they be healthy and strong. And may all beings be able to live in this world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. Send your love as far out around the world as possible. And imagine that energy traveling through the air. Feel yourself in this moment, noticing the weight of your feet on the floor or your body on the surface you're laying. Carry this feeling with you through the rest of your day. And when you are ready, you may slowly open the eyes.
There.
No wipeout of the tinctures next week.
No,
Don't want the wipeout of the tinctures after a nice peaceful meditation.
no.
No, that wasn't good. Okay, so I want to give a big shout out to Emmy for joining us and hanging out.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello, Emmett.
Yay! Oh, we've got a yay from Emmett. You see it? There it is.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you, Emmett. Okay, so we will be back next week on the 20th with Mr. Crossfire. Yeah, I'm sure lots will happen in between now and then, Vida. We'll have to keep it real.
Oh,
busy.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I believe he has. Oh, Emmett's off. Good.
Bye.
Hopefully Emmett will be able to join us, and that's what
Yeah.
it means. They're off work. Yes. Okay. So please be well. Take really good care of yourself and good care of each other. And we will see you next week.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.